Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be here with you on this beautiful Friday afternoon. I am pumped to share with you how to get out of survival, stressing, and disconnection and get into a place where you are progressing, thriving, and feeling deeply connected to your purpose and your divine path. So I'm just going to see if I can get this up on Instagram too. So give me 1 second. So I might have to repeat myself. All right, friends, let me know as we go along. If you have questions, of course, I'd love to hear. And what I'm going to be sharing with you, hold on 1 second. Trying to do multiple platforms. So much fun. Okay. What's up? All right. Now you can see my chin. Lovely chin, isn't it? All right. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today is how to get out of the stressing, overworking, feeling like you're just barely surviving, and get into a place where you're able to progress, you're able to get the sense of thriving while feeling deeply connected to your purpose. So, what I'm going to be sharing with you is how to shift this are 3 different ways. And I'll go through these in steps, and I'll also be sharing some examples in my life and my clients' lives of what this looks like. So, I'll share those 3 things and then I'll get into where you are and how you can get out of it. So, the 3 things that we'll be discussing is how to start to see yourself differently to get out of this place of survival, how to get to that place where you can stop compartmentalizing and feeling like you have to be a certain person and act a certain way depending on who's around and where you are, and how to rewrite your story from one of survival to one of truly thriving and truly feeling like you're on the right path for you. Cool. So, of course, if you catch this on the replay, I would love to know. I always am curious your takeaways and aha moments and questions. So if you are in a place where you have been on this path of personal development and wanting to, of course, progress in your life and your relationships and your work, and you wrestle with confusion, with sometimes indecision, with second guessing your path and kind of being in that place where you feel like you're constantly searching for the answers, and perhaps you have enrolled in different programs and worked with different coaches and you haven't found that they really worked for you, which of course leads to more confusion. So when you are searching for answers, you end up with more questions. It can be super frustrating because you feel like you're stuck in this analysis mode. And when you are stuck in analysis mode, that's when you are disconnected from your heart. And you're really operating out of this place of thinking you are broken and there's something out there that can fix you, or someone out there that can fix you, which just keeps you in this pattern of survival. And I was doing an interview earlier today where we talked about, this pattern of survival is in your brain and it happens for a good reason. Your brain is wired to succeed. Your brain is wired to win. So when you're in survival mode, it's your brain thinks that is what success is. So it equates stress to success because there was a moment in time, usually there's a defining moment that happened where you learned stress is the appropriate and approved way to operate. That is what you needed to do in order to survive. And so, of course, anytime that stress is relieved, then your brain kicks in and knows, wait a minute, that doesn't mean success anymore. So we better create more stress because that's what success is. So you'll find in your business or in work or in relationships even, you'll start to create drama. That things are good in one area and you'll create drama in another area because that feeling of stress is what your brain thinks is success. So if you want to get out of that and you really want to be operating from a place of working with more passion, with more purpose, with a sense of fulfillment, and you're tired of feeling frustrated and knowing that that frustration that you're feeling in your work impacts your health, you're not sleeping as well, you often wake up in the middle of the night worrying about your work. Of course, this affects, how you show up in your relationships with your partner, with your family, with kids. where you have less patience, where you find yourself being super critical and nitpicking. And of course, that creates even more disconnection with your partner and your family. And you know, you don't want to live like this. You don't want to live a life where you're working all the time, but not feeling like you're getting where you want to be. You're feeling tension in your relationship. You're noticing your sleep is suffering, your health is suffering, physically and mentally and emotionally and spiritually. And you really want to get to a place where you're able to progress in a way that feels natural to you. You want to feel like what it even to create for you, what it even means and feels like to be in a place where you are thriving in your work, in your relationship, in your body, in your health, and feeling deeply connected to a higher sense of purpose in what you're doing, and creating a legacy and being an example for your kids and for future generations. So that is what we're going to do today. So when you're in this place, of course, the first part is to recognize it's okay to allow yourself to release the judgment and negative comparison, thinking you need to be further along than you are, and recognize what you're going through is temporary. And people like me and others are here to guide you to change something in your life that is not working and really discover what that is in order to really get you to a place where you are thriving. And I want to talk just 1 minute about how many coaches work and how sometimes it can be worse after than before, because what I have found in my experience, I've worked with a number of coaches, and often after working with them, after going through their program, I am feeling more confused and more lost than I was before. And I came to discover why that's the case. And that's why I designed my process that I'll be sharing with you, is that a lot of times many coaches, they figure out a system that has worked for them to progress. And they are guiding their clients to go through their system. And the issue I have found with this is that their system works for them, and you have to be almost exactly like them in order for it to work for you. And what I have found oftentimes in these programs and with these coaches is that I often wasn't seen, wasn't heard, wasn't understood, because it was go through the system versus let's discover and create a system that will work for you. And really honoring that we each have a unique way of operating, a unique way of thriving, a unique way of progressing, and unique challenges that are holding us back from doing that. And so this takes a lot more work. It takes a lot more energy. And so many coaches I have found either don't want to do that or haven't done enough deeper work on themselves in order to do that, or are attached to their own system. And so that's their way of being able to say they got you results. And so if you didn't get results, they can just say you didn't follow their system. So I found this to be not just for me, but many of my clients too, that then you end up not getting the results, and then you feel bad and you beat yourself up, and you end up feeling worse than you even did before, because now time has gone by as well as your investment has gone by, and you don't feel like you've really gotten that much out of it or progressed as much as you had hoped. And so that's when I really discovered I needed to do my work in differently, in my work with my clients differently, and to really go deeper and to really spend that time to discover more about their path and their defining moments, and really how that shaped them, and then how we can design systems to to support them in progressing in a way that works for them sustainably. This isn't a quick fix. This is, helping you to design a life by heart, is designing how you're going to, be forever. It's not just let's do this for now and get a quick result, like quickly get some sales or quickly lose weight or quickly get a date. This is how you want to live your life. And so that takes much more intentional work. And that's the work I'm here to do. And that's what I want to share with you today. So the first way this can start to shift and how I guide my clients is, the first thing that needs to happen here is to know there is no other system outside of you, someone else's system that's going to help you. It's being able to understand, to intentionally search for the right support for you, the support that will allow you to fully be seen and to be understood and to be heard and to guide you to go deeper into healing and to go deeper into designing what it is for you that will lead to your success, that will lead to deeper intimacy, that will lead to more satisfying work and more fulfilling relationships. And of course, more health, because I'm all about, body, mind, and spirit. Okay, so the first thing that you can do to start to turn this around, to get into a place of thriving with purpose and feeling more connected to God, to yourself, to your divine path, is to start to see yourself from a higher perspective. And I call this heart vision, because often what happens and often what keeps us stuck is we're operating totally from our heads. And we think that's the place that we're going to solve all our problems. But the head usually is what creates the problem. So, of course, we can't solve the problem from the same consciousness with which we created the problem. And so I guide my clients to really start to see themselves from the heart, from love, from God. Like, how does God see them? And from that perspective, we can go back and look at that defining moment that created this pattern of struggle and survival and stress and not progressing as they had hoped and disconnection, and explore and see, what was it about that moment? Why was that pattern necessary? Because it was necessary. It was a part of your adapting mechanism as a child, or based on a certain event that happened. And once we see that, once you're looking through heart vision, you can start to see what was the gift in that moment, and how did it develop your gifts, and how did it equip you with extrasensory perception? How did it lead you on a specific path that it wouldn't have led you on if you hadn't have had that moment? And so you're able to start to release the negative attachment to the moment. You're able to we do a lot of forgiveness work, so that you can really allow yourself to release it, to let it go, to heal it, to transform it. Because in transforming it, then you can start to see how it was for you. And in transforming it, then you can start to take different actions, and you can start to really build your life differently, because you're no longer needing to operate out of a place of brokenness and in responding to this thing that subconsciously is happening, but you don't know consciously is happening. So this is huge. One of my clients, we did just this part, in our first session, really guided her to see herself and to see her spiritual gifts and to see the value of her work based on her path and her defining moment, and how it equipped her with really unique extrasensory perception and to pick up on things that no one else picks up on, and how that equipped her to help her clients in ways that no one else could. And once she started to see herself differently, then we could start to really, design how she best worked based on her gifts, based on her family, her current situation, and how she wanted to be living in accordance with her highest values, with her purpose, instead of living to work. She wanted her work to support the way she wanted to live. And just that shift of how she saw herself changed everything. Her husband started interacting with her differently and really saw her work differently, which reinforced the value to her of her work. She went and did a video within I think it was 3 days of our first session, had multiple people reach out to her, had a woman get on the phone with her right away, book a call with her, and pay on full on the call. And this is when she hadn't been selling, hadn't been enrolling people for many, many, many months. So that's how powerful this shift is, and really seeing yourself from the heart instead of trying to answer why things aren't working from the head and try to answer what's wrong with you, because nothing's wrong with you. It's just a shift in how you can start to see yourself from a very higher perspective, from God's eyes, which changes everything. Then the second part, this is sequential. So after you have that deeper connection with your heart, with how you can really reframe your past and see how it was for you and how it equips you to do the work that only you can do and that no one else can do in the way that you do. The second part then is, from there, then you have the confidence to really take off the masks. so that you don't have to feel like you have to be a certain person based on who you're with, what the conversation is, or where you are. And that really allows you to have your unique traits come out. That who you are when no one else is looking is who you are when everyone's looking. It doesn't change. That you become that person who is confident and poised everywhere with everyone, no matter if there's a conflict, no matter if there's a disagreement, no matter if you're with people who are on opposite ends of the spectrum from you in various areas. You're able to still show up with authenticity and with curiosity, and to enter into civil dialogue and with compassion and really wanting to know them, because you have nothing to hide. You have nothing to defend. You don't have to attack. You don't have to prove or convince. You're simply there as a, a way, an opportunity, an invitation for conversation. So it really shifts how you show up. And that, of course, shifts your relationship with your partner, with your family, because they start to see something's changed in you, that they notice that you don't change when you go to church versus when you go hang out with your friends versus when you're with family friends. They start to see that you are the same everywhere. When you're talking on the phone, they don't notice a difference in your voice. I had a client one time say that her mom, was having a huge argument with her father, and then the phone rang and her mom was like, "Hello," and completely changed. So being conscious of those parts of us that feels like we have to change in order to fit in, to be accepted, and to notice how much that disconnects you from, from God, from yourself, from your higher purpose, from what you're here to do, because really that disconnects you from your truest, highest expression, which is the truth. And so when you're modulating your communication, you're censoring what you're saying, you are valuing others' opinions of you over yourself, then how you come across, people can pick up on that, even if you don't necessarily are picking up on it. So that's huge. And of course, that changes your relationships, like I mentioned, with yourself, with your family. It changes your work, with your coworkers, with your employees, with your clients. They totally notice this shift in you, that you're more grounded, you're more real, you're more authentic, you're more vulnerable, and you're bolder in your opinions because you're not afraid anymore. After that step, after you have done, seeing yourself through heart vision, taking off the mask and letting your unique traits come out, then the third part is rewriting your life from a place of victory. Because many times when there's struggle, when there's stress, when there's survival, the pattern is the story is struggle, the story is victim, the story is brokenness, the story is needing fixing, the story is searching for solutions, instead of coming from a place of groundedness and who you are, seeing yourself through God's eyes, seeing it's safe to be who you are, and then to write a story of that life that you desire, the work that you desire, and how you desire to do it, and the impact that you desire to have, and writing and living out from that place. And that changes everything. For one of my clients, this had such a huge impact. She lost weight. She was able to have really, challenging conversations with her family and put boundaries in place that had needed to be in place for years, but she didn't have the confidence and courage to do it. And then as she was doing this, as she's taking these steps in her personal life, she's having clients reach out to her. Like a client that she wasn't even promoting her services, reached out to her and asked to get on a call. They got on a call and she enrolled in her program. Same thing, paid in full. And this is for a client who she wasn't even promoting, but she was doing so much inner work that the shifts were being felt in her community. And that is the power of this work, that it's so much more the internal work than the external work. The internal is what allows us to affect the external. So when you do this, things in your life will change. Your relationships, you'll feel deeper connection for your partner, your spouse. You'll feel more patience with your kids. You'll be able to have those difficult conversations. You raise your standards. You have higher boundaries, clearer boundaries, higher standards and clearer boundaries. not only with, yourself and what you are, require from yourself and what that looks like and how you want to work, but also for the people in your life and the clients and the type of work that you're doing and the hours that you're working, and really changing all of that to reflect what a life by heart looks like, because it's life and work by heart. And that is what changes how you are in every area of your life. So if you are in a place where you are searching and tired of searching and really craving, more meaning, more sense of fulfillment in your work and deeper connection in your relationships, and not really sure what that looks like, and sometimes even questioning, who you are, and are you really meant to be doing this, and what is it that you're meant to be doing? And there's a part of you that's telling you you want a deeper connection with God, but you're not really sure what that means and what that looks like. And sometimes it makes you a little nervous, but you want to be living from a place of conviction, of courage, of confidence, and really be an example, for future generations and for your family, of what it looks like to live, to work, and to walk in faith, and be able to weather the storms, no matter what they may be, with grace and poise. So I currently have a 8-week Life by Heart mentorship. So it's one-on-one, where we will go through these stages of really helping you change how you are being and how you are doing what you're doing, both in your work and in your relationships, in your body, in your spirit, and in your mind. There is also a 40-day spiritual practice that is included that will really make amazing difference in how you are being, for sure, in every area of your life. And we're really connecting deeper and uncovering your spiritual gifts and your unique purpose and your divine path, so that you get to that place of being able to just stand on the rooftop, stand on the top of the mountain, and shout, like, this is who you are, this is what you stand for, and you're willing to die for it. You know that there's no doubt in your mind that this is the work you're here to do, and this is the impact of that work, and it's so important to you that you won't stuff it down anymore, and you'll live the life that you are truly called to live, and that is worth all the investment, all the work, all the time, all the energy that you've put in previously, and that you now know doing this will make a huge difference, because everything that came before was preparing you for this, to go deeper, to work with someone that can really help guide you to your unique way, and to do it in a way that's going to get at the root. So doing deep spiritual work, doing strategic work, and looking at practices in the body, practices in the mind, practices in the energy. So it's really a holistic spiritual restoration and renovation and renewal, which of course impacts how you are in your relationships, and how you are in your work, and how you are in your body. So if you have any questions, let me know. And if you are interested, I will put a link we can do a 20-minute call just to see if this is a good fit, what questions you might have, and if it is the right time, in the right place, in the right alignment for you, we can get started right away. All right. Awesome. All right. Talk to you all soon. Bye.